Hello, I am Indranil Sarkar, CTO for Manufacturing and Supply Chain Industry Solutions at Microsoft. For our colleagues who are visually impaired, I am a 58-year-old male wearing a business casual attire. I am joining you remotely from my home in Silicon Valley in California. Have you finished your holiday shopping yet? Under normal conditions, that would be a strange question to ask at the beginning of November. However, since early 2020, businesses and their customers have felt the impact of a vulnerable supply chain. By now, most of us have experienced going into a store to find a product out of stock or have received a delivery that didn't arrive on time. Whether due to natural disasters or geopolitical events that disrupt supply chains, these experiences lead not only to customer dissatisfaction, but a decrease in companies' profitability. A great customer experience at the point of purchase relies on having the right product in stock at the right place with enhanced visibility into the inventory in real time. It also depends on the health of your first, second, and third-tier suppliers, as well as all the nodes along your value chain, such as 3PL and the warehouses and shipping fleets. Only when these elements are working in sync with one another can you deliver a world-class customer experience. What we are seeing today is businesses are unable to proactively plan for these supply chain disruptions. They lack end-to-end visibility into their supply chains, and while they may have some insight into their own suppliers, they often lack visibility to their suppliers. While they may have access to data across their organizations, lines of businesses like finance, operations, and sales often store and manage their data in silos. Similarly, there is a lack of external data from outside the four walls of their businesses. With this lack of visibility, real-time data inputs and integration, it is difficult to deliver predictive insights that inform better decision-making and allow businesses to prepare for future disruptions. Based on research by Gartner, since the beginning of 2019, nearly 70% of supply chain leaders have been constantly responding to disruptions. During this same time, they have not had enough time to recover from high-impact regional or global disruptions before another high-impact risk event has disrupted their supply chains. Business leaders today are now designing supply chains to withstand and predict future shocks. This means investing in new technologies and incorporating advanced analytics and AI to improve automation capabilities and increase resiliency of the value chain. Microsoft has spent a significant amount of time discussing the challenges of securing and modernizing supply chain with companies in several industries, including automotive, semiconductor, pharmaceuticals, defense, and retail. From mid-sized businesses looking to grow to Fortune 500 companies, there are three key blockers to create a resilient supply chain. And it all starts with the lack of visibility, and that results in operational disruptions. And of course, we also see that the forecasting is insufficient. An agile and resilient supply chain not only allows businesses to predict disruptions, but also proactively take other measures that mitigate disruptions and exceeds customer expectation, all the while staying profitable. Another 2020 survey from Gartner shows that over 85% of supply chain professionals are planning investments in supply chain resiliency and agility within the next 2 years. With an increase in risk and legacy forecasting methods that is unable to keep up, the use of advanced analytics and AI are essential to decrease risk and increase visibility. At Microsoft, we believe in empowering you with the solutions you need to deliver a customer-first approach across your businesses. Microsoft is launching a new product, Dynamics 365 Supply Chain Insights, in public preview that will help businesses create more resilient supply chains. Supply Chain Insights is an out-of-the-box product built on Azure and Power Platform, which customers can get up and running quickly and connect with their existing systems. This is also going to be available as part of Microsoft's Cloud for Manufacturing, which was announced in public preview today. Now let's hear from Anand Oka, who has chartered the development of Supply Chain Insights and brought Microsoft's vision of a more resilient supply chain to life.
Thank you, Indranil. Hi, I'm Anand Oka, General Manager for Dynamics 365 Supply Chain Insights. For our colleagues who are visually impaired, I am a 48-year-old male wearing a business casual attire. I'm joining you from Microsoft Studios in Redmond, Washington. We are really excited about the positive impact that Supply Chain Insights will have on businesses across all industries. Supply Chain Insights is a composable, out-of-the-box solution that can surround your existing systems and allow you to gain better visibility into your supply chain and make it more resilient. Supply Chain Insights can allow customers to create a digital representation of their physical supply chain to make better impact-driven decisions by collaborating with internal team members, logistic partners, and suppliers. Supply Chain Insights takes inputs from your existing systems across the organization, such as operations, finance, and inventory data. Moreover, by inviting suppliers to share data, you also gain visibility into first, second, and third-tier suppliers. This allows you to gain a deeper understanding of the health of your entire value chain. This data is brought into Dataverse and then harmonized using industry-standard data models and enriched with real-time news, weather, and environmental risk signals from Bing and other third-party sources such as reinsurers like Swiss Re. Built on the Power Platform, Supply Chain Insights uses these inputs and creates a digital twin of your supply chain. This digital representation of your physical supply chain factors in all the nodes across your value chain, from raw materials to suppliers, to manufacturing plants, to distributors, to customer locations. Using advanced analytics powered by Azure's AI and machine learning, Supply Chain Insights performs predictions and what-if analyses to gauge the impact of a potential disruption at any point along your supply chain. Using the digital twin and AI-powered news curation, Supply Chain Insights predicts risks and generates actionable insights. Further, companies can seamlessly collaborate with their suppliers, logistic partners, and internal stakeholders using Microsoft Teams and action those insights. With out-of-the-box connectors from Power Platform, Supply Chain Insights can connect to other ERP and supply chain execution systems, enabling businesses to truly get operational fast within weeks. These insights can then be seamlessly implemented through your existing supply chain execution systems, thus initiating a powerful digital feedback loop. Supply Chain Insights uses Dataverse, which enables it to work seamlessly with other Dynamics applications for exchange of data and insights. It also uses a shared Insights AI framework built on Azure Data and AI platform that enables us to connect insights across customer engagement, commerce, finance, and supply chain operational areas. This uniquely empowers customer service, account, and sales teams with supply chain knowledge and helps them effectively communicate with their customers and exceed their expectations. Thus, by leveraging Supply Chain Insights, companies can mitigate risk and provide a customer a superior experience across their business. Let's now see how a customer like Daimler Trucks North America can deliver a great customer experience by creating a resilient supply chain using Dynamics 365 supply chain insights.
Daimler Truck AG is the leading global truck manufacturing, and Daimler Trucks North America is the leading truck manufacturer in the US with the brands Western Star and Freightliner, and Detroit brand producing our heavy and medium duty engines for the electric truck. At Daimler Trucks North America, we have more than 20,000 employees, more than 91 locations alone in the US. Trucking is an essential industry, especially here in the US. We have a social responsibility to drive for more innovations, to drive for more efficiency, and look in how we can do things differently in order to keep the world moving forward. We have hundreds of thousands of parts which we are sourcing from suppliers globally. The target is to keep promises to our customers and to our dealers. Customer-dealer partners are expecting a certain experience in everything what they do with us. And we need to constantly work on improving that. And we cannot do that when we're sitting on a landscape which is fragmented. What I need to do is I need to use Dynamics 365 supply chain insights. This will enable me to make the process more efficient end-to-end, reducing downtime, reducing parts shortages, helping us to automate more and more. We want to make sure that we can predict potential issues as early as possible. So we are looking into the supply chain, and then we know exactly, all right, is there a problem? Because we have a commitment to our customers for delivery of the truck. We want to integrate our suppliers, we want to integrate our customers in the whole view. This end-to-end process optimization is not just reducing downtimes, but is also helping us in faster decision-making. Using the data correctly, we could actually achieve a significant automation in certain processes. We have process efficiencies here, and we can drive the decision-making in a completely different way. The more we do, the more we learn, and the better we are actually to derive services out of it for suppliers, partners, customers, dealers. And this is the good thing. You can suddenly show the value to everyone. And there is not just value for us, there is value for everybody in the whole process chain. Microsoft is innovating very rapid. And that's what I'm looking for, because this is helping me to drive the company to the next level.
Thank you, Lutz. Now, Omar will join us to show how Daimler can put supply chain insights to work to mitigate the impact of a critical part shortage and meet customer demand on time. Omar?
Thanks, Anand. Daimler has many partners across their supply chain, many of which are feeling the impact of critical part shortages and single supply issues. This could affect Daimler's ability to stay on their production schedule. Let's see how they can use supply chain insights to invite their partners to securely share their data. Using the data collaboration feature, suppliers are invited to collaborate within supply chain insights to share data. Here we can see a list of data elements that we can request from a partner. For example, we can ask them to share information about their vendors, their products, their production allocation, commitment data, along with collaborate and provide addresses for their vendor locations, their production plants, and even information regarding their open orders. Because Supply Chain Insights uses an industry standard data model, it doesn't matter what system its partners are using. This makes it easy for them to connect and share data between each other. These signals can then be interpreted by Supply Chain Insights and displayed in the supply map feature and used in our analytics, which we'll see in just a bit. Not only can Daimler request data directly from their suppliers, but they can also choose to share their data in return. Collaboration across supply chain is critical to create resilience, and Supply Chain Insights makes it easy to get set up. Once Daimler is receiving production information from their suppliers, let's see how they can predict future disruptions like shortages of critical parts. Supply Chain Insights provides powerful analytics straight out of the box. Here we can see there's a supply chain shortage for parking sensor chips, with the demand much larger than the current stock, in transit, and committed supply combined. If not mitigated early, this supply shortage can interfere with deliveries to Daimler's end customers and stop Daimler's production. When we drill further, we can see that one of our external suppliers has enough quantities on hand to fulfill the demand. Because we don't know the long-term effect of increasing our order quantities, we can quickly simulate the impact of pulling in the stock to make a well-informed decision. Using the supply and demand simulation feature, Daimler can see the bigger picture in what increasing supply quantities for parking sensor chips will mean for their production of its trucks. The parking sensor is just one part within an electronic subassembly for Daimler's trucks, so overcoming a supply shortage will ensure there are no bottlenecks in the production schedule. The analytics within Supply Chain Insights can also predict if parts are at risk to being delayed during the shipping process. We can see here that parking sensor chips has a few early shipments, but also has some at-risk shipments and some shipments that might be delayed. Supply Chain Insights can also monitor suppliers' performance. This can be helpful when choosing to order from another supplier for parking chip sensors, or maybe purchasing another product from that same supplier. As Anand mentioned earlier, these insights can then be easily implemented through existing supply chain execution systems, thus creating a digital feedback loop. With out-of-the-box Power Query connections like SAP, Oracle, and Dynamics 365 Supply Chain Management, Supply Chain Insights can connect to other ERP systems and supply chain execution systems, enabling businesses such as Daimler Trucks North America to truly operationalize fast and within weeks. Back to you, Anand.
Thank you, Omar. These types of decisions are expected to be made by every supply chain professional. The machine learning algorithms in Supply Chain Insights constantly learn how decisions are being made by domain experts to mitigate disruptions. And thus, these ML models become smarter over time to help enhance your decision-making process. Now, let's look at how partners like Swiss Re can augment supply chain data with external signals like weather and information about environmental issues to aid in your decision-making process. Supply chain data from within the four walls of a factory is a great starting point, but enriching this with information and valuable external signals will help businesses build resiliency by identifying potential risks associated with their suppliers in various regions. Let's now see how easy it is to incorporate external risk signals through Supply Chain Insights.
As we saw in the earlier demo, it's easy to collaborate with external partners by inviting them to share data directly within Supply Chain Insights. Using an industry standard data model makes integrating data super easy. The data can come from a variety of sources, from ERP systems to warehouse or order management tools. However, some external risk signals are available out of the box without having to set up a connection, like Swiss Re and Bing. On the supply chain map here, we can see calculated risk scores for facilities and suppliers based on those external risk signals. For example, this site in Florida has a high risk score. Let's drill in to see the details. It looks like the high risk score is due to the latent risk of extreme weather events like storm surge and high winds. While there are no real-time risks, the baked-in data from external partners is leveraged to make predictions, giving organizations early warning alerts they can act on. While this digital twin representation is focused on predicting events, we will also have the capability to enable live alerts to see active weather events as well. Supply Chain Insights can also determine the orders, both open and currently in transit, that are potentially impacted by these early warnings. We can even drill in to see the specific shipments and their projected delivery dates. Since there may be multiple orders impacted, let's filter on the related latent risk reasons like storm surge to better comprehend the scope of the predicted disruption. We can see here that the risk for storm surge exists in several places, not just the fulfillment site, which could potentially impact customers along the Gulf and on the East Coast. We can choose other risk reasons to filter as well. Example, if we filter on tornadoes, we can see that suppliers that operate in places like Tulsa, Oklahoma, have a greater risk of having a tornado-related disruption than, say, suppliers on the West Coast. And it's not just weather-related risks that power the insights within this product. AI-curated news provided by Bing is filtered specifically for supply chain professionals to catch up on the latest relevant news articles. AI-driven models behind the news feeds knows to look out for stories related to company or partners, like the product recalls or worker strikes, but it also is smart enough to filter out articles that may not impact your supply chain's health, like those related to stock price. We can see here that many news articles are related to chip shortages, which might impact customers like Daimler. Leveraging all the insights from digital twin of our supply chain and our curated newsfeed, we can now analyze the impact of these predicted disruptions. Whether it's a storm surge on the Florida coast or a worker strike that's shut down one of our suppliers, the risk and vulnerability surfaced by external partners like Swiss Re and Bing empower organizations to take swift action to mitigate risk. Let's look at the product analytics dashboard where we can see which products are produced by that site in Florida, which had the high risk score. When I click on this node, I can see that almost all parts are produced from this site. Because I have the early warning insights, I can shift my production plan to produce more at my North Carolina site instead. Collaborate effectively with the production team there via Microsoft Teams and preventing the disruption before it even happens. Back to you, Anand.
We are really excited about bringing to market Dynamics 365 Supply Chain Insights to help organizations such as yours create a resilient supply chain and deliver a great customer experience. Supply Chain Insights will enable you to better shape supply chain risks and enhance your decision-making to proactively overcome disruptions by putting your customers first. To learn more about Dynamics 365 Supply Chain Insights, I invite you to join our Ask the Experts session, and please also view our online on-demand session titled Make Better Decisions with Proactive Risk Mitigation to Create a Resilient Supply Chain. Thank you for watching this session, and enjoy the rest of your Ignite experience.